Once your site is properly optimized and converting at what you consider to be an acceptable rate, the next step is naturally to drive more traffic to the site, which you can do through traditional media, but through the online marketplace, there's no better way to drive site visitors to your website than to leverage search engines.
A lot of consumers, 70% of consumers are searching online when they're looking for, when they're shopping for a car. So all of these consumers have moved online. And then, of those online shoppers, 90% of them are using a search engine to help find that automotive information they're looking for.
There's so much, there's so many people out there, there's so many search opportunities. If you capitalize on that, again, you're lowering your cost of sale, you're increasing your position, and you're dominating, you're grabbing your market share in the funnel where it needs to be. So one more, example I can share with you on that. This may be covered other places, but here's the sales funnel, right? So sometimes as a dealer, we wait till the customers are coming into our showroom floor, right? We'll do traditional media branding, which is great and important, and we'll do all these things in traditional media, but what about the customers that start in the funnel, up here? This is where SEM and SEO take place. This is where you capture those customers before you wait for them to go to your competitor or someplace else that's grabbing them up higher in the funnel. You want to grab them right here, right at the top, right when they go to the search engines. That's the spot that's going to bring the sweet spot, if you will, and the magic, and be able to leverage your marketing dollars in a way that you've never seen before.
Effectively utilizing a search engine is a great way for a dealer to put their message out in front of consumers.
So when you look at a search, when you look at a search page, there's essentially two components to it. There's the organic listings, which are the big listings down the center of the page. And then there are the sponsored listings, which are often up on the top and on the side, or the peripherals. When you're looking at the organic listings, or the big listings in the middle, you cannot pay for those listings. The only way that you can increase your rankings on the organic side, or the organic listings, is for Google or the search engine itself to deem that your site is more relevant for that particular keyword than all of your competitors are. Essentially, the search engines out there, such as Google, send robots out that read the sites and decide what is relevant. There's an art form to program your website so that it's more readable and more recognizable to the search engine robots.
When you build your site, or when you get someone to build your site, to make sure that it's optimized so that it's seen and spidered by the search engines. Because if you build your site, there's ways of building your site correctly where Google can see you, and therefore you're going to show up when someone searches for your dealership on Google, which is where the vast majority of consumers are going when they're going on the internet, or Yahoo, or MSN.
So there's three legs to a successful organic search implementation. It all starts fundamentally with the technology that the website's built on. When you look across the industry in car dealers, what you'll find is there's a lot of sites out there that are built entirely in Flash. There's a lot of sites that are built within framed environments. In essence, the technology platform doesn't make it easy for the search engine to come find the content within the site. So the first leg of successful strategy is removing the technology barriers that stop the search engines from seeing the content. The next leg of the strategy then is to optimize that content to the needs of the consumer. What are the terms they're going to use to search for? What types of words do they think about when they're thinking about car dealers? And then emphasizing those terms in coordination with the geography that defines the area you serve, so that when the search engine, which now can find the content because you've focused on the technology, when they see that content, they are seeing density of the words that are important, right? The third component then is linking strategy. Okay? So technology lets the search engine get in, the content lets it be indexed. The linking strategy is what really gives you position and solidifies that position on the page. So when you think about organic search optimization, yeah, content matters, but also the inbound link activity matters. And you should be working to focus on local inbound link quality.
I'll tell you what optimization of a website means. In very simple terms, it means that someone's going to come in to audit your store. Unfortunately, this auditor is only going to come in at midnight when you're not going to be there. All right? So what we're asking you is put on all the lights, leave the door open, and put tags on every little thing around the dealership. This is the new car section. This is the service section. This is the parts store. So when he comes in the night, and do a yellow line through the store so he can walk around. Do you get that? Yeah, I get that. So this auditor is going to come in at night, and he's going to have a checklist All right, leave a checklist at the door. He's going to check everything and say, yes, it's here. And he's going to go out and file his report. And that's what a robot does. When a Google search bot comes there, it looks at the site index, goes to the website. So make your website very friendly to that auditor. That's all there is to SEO. There's no magic. There are published rules that Google and everyone publishes. You just follow, be compliant, and that's it. You can't do anything beyond that. If someone says that I've got a special magic way to do SEO, that's nonsense. Because Google tells you what they want, you go and do that, and nothing more, nothing less.
When I say organic, I'm referring to the natural process of creating link and link credibilities through the internet to get people to find you, rather than to do that paid search process, which means you're bidding for keywords that you think might work in your area. The bidding process is only going to get more expensive and more competitive, and generally we find that consumers don't go for the PPC quite as often, and it doesn't give you the highest conversion ratio as opposed to the organic growth.
Talk to me about PageRank. I've heard that. Is that something I need to be concerned with as a car dealer?
Well, it's actually, I can't answer that. We've got, it's a measurement that we use more than 200 different signals to look at a website and determine essentially its rank. And if you want to actually see that in practice yourself, the Google toolbar, which you can download from Google, has a little section on it that shows what the page rank is for that particular site that you're looking at. And that's one of the factors that's involved in where your placement would be on our organic results.
It seems like I get a lot of calls from people that wanted to sell me SEO services. Are there things that I need to look out for or avoid in when I pay somebody to build me a website?
It's a tricky question, but I would say that that you want to go back and think, like, is what I'm doing, is it ethical, is it moral? Would I be comfortable if one of my direct competitors was doing this? And if the answer to those things is yes, and the gut check feels right and common sense makes sense, and look at some of the best practices we have on our sitemaps page, and that'll sort of help you guide you on whether you're making the right decision or not.
Go with reputable companies that have been around, that know what they're doing. Whether it's buying a CRM product, whether it's buying purchase requests, whether it's partnering with somebody on search, it's going with companies that are reputable, that have a good reputation.
It takes experience, knowledge of the local market, and have tried everything in the book and then made mistakes along the way, and that's the magic formula. And you try to pick a search engine marketing company that gets that understands that it's working with that client, it's taking their experience and how many years they've been in business. That's a very important question. How many years have you been doing this, Mr. Search Engine Marketing Company? And then capitalizing on their experience to buy the smartest keywords, because there's dumb keywords to buy.
When we look at paid search strategy, what we're really focused on, most dealers are focused on new car sales. So we will focus campaigns around vehicle type of queries. We tend to do a sort of a shotgun approach when we first start. We start with very large keyword sets. We're focused on trying to figure out where the search queries are happening and what search queries are actually causing consumers to click through to the website. Once you begin to get a footprint and understand what words are working and what words aren't working, the strategy really goes into how do I enhance those words that are performing by providing better ad copy or better landing pages to create more conversions and to improve quality so that my cost goes down. And what ancillary terms should I begin to explore in so that I begin to find searches that are very low volume but high conversion type searches.
Make sure you buy your name and the derivatives of your name. You need to protect your name out there. There are people out there that are looking to buy a dealer's name but not driving the traffic to a dealership website and driving it somewhere else. You need to protect your own name out there. And I think dealers are beginning to recognize that and making sure, okay, I need to make sure that I'm capturing the people in my neighborhood and my market that are looking specifically for me.
So the discipline in the search engine marketing business is finding that sweet spot of maximizing the dollar spend for the smartest keywords that still drive the volume and the leads into the dealership website without paying too much. Because you can blow through a lot of money very quickly if you don't buy those keywords appropriately. And you don't want to exceed your budget in the first week or two of the month. You want to spread it out through the whole month. You don't want to surge where you can't handle all the leads. You want to be able to spread that out. You also want to find a search engine marketing company that will give that a discipline to you so you can spread your marketing dollars out throughout the month. Or if you wish, towards the end of the month when you really want to get a push for your sales.
give you a very simple example of AdWords. Maybe you pick one, let's say we pick one keyword. Let's pick the word Honda Accord. And we are in Mountain View, so you want to target the area of Mountain View.
So you can actually target geographic areas in AdWords.
Definitely. I think that's one of the most important features that is interesting for dealers, is the fact that you can buy the word Honda Accord and you can have your ad only show up when somebody in that particular area you've targeted is searching for that phrase. So somebody across the country or in another state won't see your ad when they're searching on that exact phrase that you've targeted.
You should focus on the consumers that are near to your store, the consumers that are going to get their vehicle serviced with you, that are going to be a customer for an extended period of time. The two are very complementary to each other. In fact, what you see is that quality tends to increase when you're doing organic search and paid search on the same page. There's a bunch of studies that have been done around it. What they essentially find is that there's a 1 + 1 = 3 equation going on. When you participate in organic search, there's a certain percentage of clicks that's likely to choose your blue link over the other blue links that are present on that page. In fact, IDC did the study that found about 33% of the time, if you're relevant to that search, your site's the one that'll get picked when you're only in organic. What they further found, though, is that if you were to go and do paid search on the same set of terms where that organic result was presented, and you present it in both locations on the page, the selection rate of your blue link over any of the other links on the page goes up to 67%. So you're essentially doubling your opportunity, or said in inverse, taking 50% of the opportunity away from all of the other competitors on the page by doing those two things in conjunction.
And up pops your dealership on the right-hand side in the paid listing, and up pops your dealership in multiple areas in the organic. There's credibility to your site then in that consumer's mind.
The search engine marketing in combination with search engine optimization is the right strategy for a dealer.
We have thousands of partner sites that basically ask Google to place ads on their sites. And so whenever you're searching online, you may have seen bars that have a few text advertisements, and below it says ads by Google. So it's sort of a business that we call AdSense. And what the experience for an advertiser is that we think when somebody's on Google specifically looking for something like Honda Accord, it's a great opportunity to get in front of them. If somebody is surfing the web, browsing sort of things that they're passionate about, they're interested in that Honda Accord, so they're looking at Honda Accord reviews, they're reading information on Honda Accords, they're reading about was 2004, what were some of the issues that I need to pay attention to, were there alternator problems that year? There's websites all over the web that have this great information on them, and it would be a great opportunity to have your same ad show up on that page, saying, you're interested in a Honda Accord, think about my dealership.
This particular dealer sells Jeeps. I go, let's go online right now, and I showed him how he could do a search for websites that'll accept ads. There's a tool that Google supplies in their AdWords account where you can put in a topic, and it shows you the websites that they'll push ads into by that topic. And I put in the word Jeep, and there was like 32 Jeep enthusiast websites. So he looks at that and he goes, you mean I could put my ads on Jeepster.com? Yeah, it's right there, you could. He goes, well, what is that going to cost? I go, well, here's the beauty of it. You make an offer, and they either accept the offer or they don't. It's almost like buying a car. How much is it worth to you? What would it take for you to buy an ad today on that website, per 1,000 people that see it?
The technology's gotten sophisticated enough that we can literally put a targeted message based on site demographics. So we might have a different message on a Toyota promotion for a Sienna that goes to Patty's List and sites that are oriented to women, and an entirely different message to the father in that household who wants that minivan to be a performance vehicle as opposed to just a safety vehicle. You can message differently by reaching into the right sites where the right audiences are.
There's a lot of different options that you have for online advertising. You have used car sites where you can post listings. You have third-party lead sites that generate a lot of consumer demand and consumers interested in shopping to buy leads. You have search engines that give you the opportunity to put your own message in front of consumers as they're sort of making their different purchase decisions.
MySpace in many ways could be called a search engine, because there are people there searching for different things. They're not searching for very specific interest-based search. So the paradigm of going in and punching keywords and getting everything that's linked to those keywords come up on a certain search page is changing. That paradigm is going to change.
There's all sorts of formats of display advertising now. They call them skyscrapers, they call them, whatever. There's all kinds of different places where those ads can be positioned. Mostly they're served through contextual networks, so people who are out doing research on dealer review sites or are looking at vehicle reviews on sites like Edmunds or New Car Test Drive, or who might be interacting with a trusted third-party site. All of those sites participate in a content network that allow you to target and distribute your message in front of that consumer.
All these approaches I've talked about, would require you probably having somebody in your store who's actually going to log in and do all of those things. And we've recognized that there are some dealers who are good at doing this, and a few other dealers who might want some help with doing this.
And so the goal essentially of search engine marketing is to get that customer to your website before they go somewhere else.
I think the first decision you need to make is, I want to get into the game. Once you've decided that, you have a couple choices about how you go about doing that. And just like with any advertising medium, your choice is going to be, do I want to try and do it on my own, or do I want to have a partner, an agency, a third-party partner to help me make that purchase? And Google has an open system, and we allow any third parties to sort of offer their services to other people on a consulting basis, on a direct management basis. But I would also encourage, it's quite possible to go to google.com, set up an account, and buy some keywords and become familiar with how our solution works yourself to sort of get an understanding of exactly what it is that somebody else might be helping you with.